Welcome to the Life 2.0 podcast. My name is Matt Jones, a former pro musician turned lifestyle entrepreneur and author. Every week, I want to bring you different strategies, tools, and concepts to empower your life, from mindset to health, career, and more. Thank you for hanging here with me. It means everything. Now, let's get to the episode. Hello, and welcome to the Life 2.0 podcast. I'm your host, Matt Jones, and today I'm discussing the best practices and techniques for how to cope with depression and overwhelming circumstances. On the podcast today, you're going to learn some effective ways to manage stress and improve your mental health overall. You know, most people struggle with difficult circumstances. I know I certainly have in my life. I've personally learned to beat depression naturally many times and, just really keep those demons at bay when life gets just a little too hard. Depression and overwhelming circumstances can be really difficult to deal with, and, they really have a significant impact on your overall well-being. Just remember that you're not alone. Many people go through this, and, you do have the power to overcome it. It's sometimes hard to know that when you're in it in the moment. But if you've looked at your life previously, at a circumstance that was a little bit too hard, chances are you overcame it some way. And so, if you are currently going through a struggle right now, just remember that, to think of that past circumstance and know that you did get through it and you can get through it again. So you just really need to be aware of the proper tools to deal with it. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So number one, in terms of coping with depression and overwhelming circumstances, is to take care of your physical health. Your physical health has a huge impact on your mental health. So this means eating a healthy diet, getting enough sleep, and exercising regularly. And this will just naturally help reduce the stress and prevent depression. When your body is healthy, your mind is more likely to be healthy too. Physical exercise physically helps alleviate depression. It does this by, releasing feel-good chemicals. Exercise triggers the release of endorphins, which are chemicals in the brain that promote feelings of pleasure, and it also reduces pain. And it basically acts as a natural antidepressant and just, naturally kind of helps lift your mood. Taking care of your physical health also improves your sleep. It'll help regulate that sleep-wake cycle and just improve the quality of sleep overall, so you're not waking up many times, in the middle of the night, from being, too anxious or worried about something. And, this is especially beneficial for people with depression as, sleep problems are a common symptom. Taking care of your physical health also helps increase your energy level overall. Depression, if you've gone through it, or just crazy circumstances, your mind is really busy, and it really just causes fatigue and low energy levels, making it really difficult to just engage in daily activities with work or your family or your partner. And, it basically, just kind of helps lift that mood naturally and allows you to just be a little bit more active and productive. Let's see. It also reduces inflammation. If you don't know, depression is associated with increased inflammation in the body, which can contribute to, a range of other health problems. And regular exercise has been proven to reduce inflammation, which will help alleviate those low symptoms of depression. And the last thing about physical exercise is that it boosts your self-esteem, right? So, it'll boost your confidence. You're going to feel better naturally. You can reduce inflammation, your energy's up, your sleep's improving, and, basically that will have those knock-on effects of just naturally boosting your confidence and self-esteem and how you feel about yourself overall, which is, naturally important, that self-belief, that self-confidence. If you're, people who are usually low, they're down on themselves, they torture themselves. So this will naturally, boost your self-esteem. Okay, number two, learn to manage your time effectively. So a lot of times stress is caused by things that, from our daily planning, basically. It'll help you really avoid those last minute stresses and worries that we have about work or family or whatever, business as well. So you want to learn to plan ahead and prioritize your tasks so that you can really stay organized and stay on track. And this naturally kind of removes a lot of the clutter. I know it has for me, certainly, when I just sit down and do the work to make sure I'm planning out my day, and I naturally feel better. I feel the same way when I actually clean my place. I normally can't work in a really dirty environment, or, my bed's not made. Those natural little things just kind of help lift my mood a little bit. So make sure to set aside time for, leisure activities that you enjoy as well. And, this will help you unwind and recharge. So you really want to plan leisure, work, all these things effectively with planning. So like some techniques, tools, and programs that I use with time management is, a to-do list, basic thing. Create that to-do list, help you prioritize your task and just stay organized. Just use a simple pen and paper, and just get that down the first thing in the morning, prioritize, and just know what you got to do. You can also use a digital tool like Todoist or Trello, which I use actually every day. Another thing is time tracking apps. You can use the app to help see where your time is going and identify areas, if you're more technology inclined. And that these can overall help you be more efficient. And some of those examples include Rescue Time and Toggle. Another thing you can use is calendar apps, so like Google Calendar or Apple Calendar, and help you schedule appointments and tasks, set reminders, and really just keep track of those deadlines. And then another technique is called the Pomodoro technique. And this is a time management method I've talked about before. And it helps you focus on intervals, usually in about 25 minutes, followed by really short breaks. So, the brain can only take in so much information. And so, it really helps your brain to just kind of decompress and relax a little bit. So there are many Pomodoro timers available, including the popular one, which is Tomato Timer. Yeah, that's right. And let's see. And then another one is chunking or time blocking. And this basically involves scheduling blocks of time for specific tasks and activities. And this will just help you stay focused and avoid those distractions. And Google Calendar and other scheduling apps can also be useful for time blocking as well. And then the last one for managing your time effectively is the prioritization matrix. If you use one of these, it'll help you identify tasks that are really important and urgent, important but not urgent, urgent but not important, or neither important or nor urgent. Obviously sometimes, it helps to realize what is, the highest or lowest priorities. So this can help kind of just clear that clutter away and, basically not waste, time on less important things in your life. Okay, so number 3 in terms of coping from depression and overwhelming circumstances is to develop a support system. This is so important. Friends and family can provide that emotional support when you need it most. If you're feeling overwhelmed, don't be afraid to just reach out and ask for help. It can even be a neighbor or somebody you work with that you just deeply confide in. Sometimes just talking to another person can really make a big difference. And in fact, I firmly believe a support system may even be more effective than therapy. And this is for many reasons. Personal connection, someone you already are naturally comfortable with and have that connection with, friend, a peer, and maybe they struggle with mental health challenges themselves and you already have a personal connection with them. And this kind of makes it easier to be honest about what you're going through, for you to share your feelings, for them to share their thoughts and feelings. And overall can just help you just feel a little bit more supported and understood. Another reason the support system is effective is just practical help. Basically just practical help with like day-to-day tasks such as running errands or providing transportation. They can help you with your to-do list or, help you prioritize on the things that you should be, focusing on that, they can also help you with. Another thing about a support system is cost. Therapy can be really expensive, and many people may not have access to affordable or accessible mental health care. And so, by using a support system, you have that emotional support without the financial burden of therapy. The other thing is socialization. Basically, it helps to, reduce feelings of isolation. When we're really low, we're really depressed, a lot of times what we do is we want to go inward, right? And, we kind of lose that herd, right? And that kind of makes us naturally just kind of, feel left out and isolated. And, so, once you get out there, you start socializing and you start to connect with people and they empathize, and that energy just kind of naturally increases when you have someone else there to bounce ideas off, and you're not just in your head all the time. So socialization is really beneficial for developing a support system. And the other thing is flexibility. Rather than, having to go to therapy and being in this strict scheduling and availability sort of a system, it's a little bit more easier. Friends and family will have more availability at any time, early morning or late night, whereas, appointments are typically scheduled in advance. So there are several reasons to develop a support system for your mental health. If you're someone who is on a lifelong journey of personal growth, if you have a vision of your future holding greater freedom and abundance than your current circumstances suggest, then this opportunity to have your own thriving business in the personal development industry may be just what you're looking for. If you are serious about creating a future where you work for yourself and have at least 2 hours a day to devote to something fresh and have a fire in your belly to work with like-minded others on a growth path, click the link in the podcast description. I am so proud to have entrepreneur, mentor, and mom Caroline Hope as a personal sponsor of this podcast. After learning her story, I was really moved by her uplifting outlook on life and her resilience and bravery to make the change from surviving to thriving. When you click on the link to her site and sign up, you get instant access to a free 3-day Mind Power Mojo Bootcamp. With this training, you will be guided to the inner sanctums of your mind and be taught step by step how to exercise and apply powerful techniques and principles to maximize your personal power. This training will provide you with the knowledge, tools, and techniques necessary to manifest your reality. This may just be the wake-up call that you need to start your own business today. Click the link to get started. Okay, number 4, practice relaxation techniques. So this means things such as like deep breathing, meditation, yoga, which I love, even just for, 15 minutes in the morning. Just a little bit really helps just to calm your mind and reduce your stress levels. For some people, this might, just be jogging, or it might just be going for a nice long leisurely walk. I personally love getting in nature and just kind of relaxing my mind and reducing distractions, listening to some music, and these little things around self-care and relaxation really help. Self-care is just so important, and sometimes I think we might take it for granted. So, finding your personal practice, relaxation matters, and this will greatly improve your self-esteem as well as your dopamine levels through several mechanisms. And, it reduces your stress, it boosts your mood, it increases your self-awareness, and it also enhances your relaxation response. Relaxation techniques can activate the body's relaxation response, which can help reduce stress and promote those natural feelings of well-being, and also while triggering dopamine and, promoting pleasure and reward, right? Sometimes we need a little bit more of those pleasure feelings. We can learn to reward ourselves when we, do a task like going out for a walk or jogging, and just naturally kind of boost our self-esteem that way. Number 5 is also, this is about thinking, about positive thinking. Number 5, reframe negative thoughts. So, negative thoughts can really contribute to those feelings of hopelessness, helplessness, right? So learn to start focusing on the worst, instead of focusing on the worst case scenario, try to find a more positive and realistic perspective. Okay. And I know it sounds pretty simple to just say that or trite, but it's really true. What you tell your brain matters. How you feed your subconscious mind matters. This will really help you feel more in control and reduce those negative feelings. Once you have challenged negative thoughts, reframe them into positive, realistic, and constructive thoughts. So, for example, if you have a negative thought like, I'll never be good enough, reframe it into something like, I'm capable of improving and growing. and I will work towards my goals step by step. So just, you take it and you just reframe it really quick. You got to do it like a muscle, right? You just got to work it out. And, every time you have that little negative self-talk, just try to replace it right away with something a little bit more positive and realistic, and it gives you more perspective and it's not so challenging. So just recognize the self-talk, the thoughts that might be holding you back or causing those negative emotions. Really just feed your brain with good things. And then the last one is seek professional help if needed. So if you're feeling depressed or overwhelmed and it's just too hard to beat on your own, these tips aren't quite working for you. Some cases are a little bit more severe than others. And so, it's really important to seek help from a mental health professional. You can do these online nowadays from the comfort of your own home. There's a lot of apps, and there's even organizations that will, cover the cost for you to get professional help. You just have to kind of find what's available in your area or in your country. And, they can really provide you with the necessary support and guidance to really help you overcome your challenges. Don't take it for granted. Mental health is everything, and it is really the foundation for your life. Without a strong, strong facilities of your brain and your outlook, you really can't do much. It affects your attitude, your beliefs, and ultimately your daily tasks. And then that makes up your weeks, months, and years, so you really want to make this a priority in your life. Okay, well, that's all the time I have for today. I hope that you guys have found these tips helpful. Make sure you use them. In conclusion, just remember that taking care of your mental health is just as important as taking care of your physical health. And by implementing these best practices and techniques, you can reduce your stress and you can really, prevent depression and just keep it at bay. And if you or someone is struggling, do not hesitate to reach out for help. A lot of times, people are going through this and we have no idea. Make sure you're good to everybody. Make sure you are aware of what they might be going through in your workplace, in your social environments. This is a very common thing for people to go through, especially nowadays. And just know that with the right support, if you're going through it, you can overcome it, even with the most overwhelming circumstances. All right, guys. Well, that's all. I thank you so much for listening. Make sure to tune in next time for more valuable insights. And I am wishing you happiness and prosperity. Bye-bye.